there, it's me, Tom Olszewski with Team Olszewski with another SoCal real estate market brief. So thank you for joining us, and I invite everybody to subscribe and like the video below. We want to get this out to as many people as possible so they can make really good sound decisions, have proper expectations based upon good facts and data about the housing market. So are home prices ready to take a plunge? So the reason we did this video is because there is so many articles out there right now, and the news is talking about it because Case-Shiller, which is probably the most followed home price index that's out there, did a new release this week. The information contained in the video is not my opinion, but research and data from a popular housing analyst here in SoCal. There's lots of people talking about houses and pricing. So basically, what happened was this came out and it's up 3.8% year over year. Now this is through the month of January. But this is a rolling 3-month average that they take to smooth out the index. So it's actually November, December, and January. So it's a reflection of the end of the year, which are contracts that were placed into escrow in September and October, a long time ago. So this has such old data. By the time this comes out for the month of January, it's not really a true depiction of where we are in the marketplace right now. As far as the direction of which way home values are going, so a lot of the articles about the West, because the West is where we're seeing the biggest changes in prices. Instead, we're going to talk and take a pivot here and not talk about Case-Shiller because it's so dated. We're going to talk about Black Knight, who was the first to release their home price index for the month of February. And they do it on a monthly basis now, so the data is a little bit newer. Annually, it still looks like everybody's getting hit pretty hard along the West Coast. And you can see across the United States, the year-over-year gains. They're beginning to really diminish, except for it has gone down. But it's still up quite a bit in Miami, Florida at 11.1% up year over year. But if you look at California and the West Coast, yes, they've been hammered pretty hard. You can even take a look at Austin, Texas. It's probably the biggest drop, and they're down 15.6%. San Francisco down 15.1%. San Jose 14.9%. Seattle down 13.6%. Phoenix 12.5%. Vegas 12.1%. Sacramento 11.3%. Then you get into Southern California with San Diego down 8.9%. Los Angeles down 8.5%. And Riverside down 7.9%. Locally, we're looking pretty good. But we really want to get into this where we are on a monthly basis. Annually, yes, we're down, but here we are in February across the United States from a data standpoint. We actually had values going up 1.9 year over year. That's after months of values going down on a monthly basis. And now if you look, there are still some negative. There are still some areas where we have prices that are going down. You can see this mostly in the West Coast as well as Austin, Texas. Now all of these numbers are not down as they were over like the last several months. And that big orange arrow, which is pointing to Los Angeles, which is down just 2%, and right below that is San Diego County, which is flat for the month of February. So there in San Diego, it actually didn't go up or it didn't go down. But these numbers are beginning to change, of course, and a lot of people would blame that on the spring market. Now, spring is when we have the most activity in real estate, and it's typically when you get a lot more home price appreciation because there's a lot of buyers that are transacting during that time of the year. But they actually don't think it's really a spring thing. It's more of a low supply, which favors sellers, versus affordability. The higher interest rates and their impact on affordability, which favors the demand side of the equation if you're a buyer. So one is pulling towards a buyer's market and the other is pulling towards a seller's market. It's a seller's versus buyer's, low supply versus high rates, and affordability, or in this case, the affordability factor primarily. So they know that the model that we follow as far as supply and demand concerned is actually broken. We've had a very low inventory environment, which typically favors sellers. Excuse me, but it didn't matter. We had interest rates get up so high that the inventory last year grew to a point where there were some homes that were languishing on the market and market times were growing. They weren't growing outrageously, but enough where buyers were having their way and values were coming down, especially in the West. So this low supply, you have to understand, has been getting worse since peaks during the summer and across the United States, also courtesy of Black Knight with the data. This is the number of new real estate listings compared to 2017 through 2019, which is referred to as pre-COVID. That same month average, and if you could see, it was down 37% during COVID lockdowns. And that was the month of April in 2020. Recently, the number of homes coming in the market has been fewer and fewer and fewer, and there's actually 27% fewer homes came on the market than the average across the United States for the month of February. Now in Southern California, that same average 2017 through 2019 on a monthly basis. They're just taking this chart from January 2020 through February 2023. On the left-hand side, you can see that was during COVID, and it really limited the number of homes coming on the market across Southern California during the lockdown. It was down like 46 now. On the right-hand side, you could see that this is 2022, and it got to be where there were fewer and fewer homes coming on the market, and now we're into 2023, and it's those last two bars on the right. It's actually down 42% January and another 41% in February compared to the months of January and February prior to COVID, the average. So there are far fewer homes coming on the market, and you could see that in all of Southern California. The active listing inventory, it peaked last year and since then has really come down quite a bit. And we're right now at levels in Southern California when you draw a line across them. It's the lowest. It beats out 2013, which was a low time. That was the lowest level prior to COVID that they had ever seen in tracking all the data. And right now it's below that. Of course, it's not as low as where we got last year. A lot of people compared to last year, but last year was where what they referred to as a supply catastrophe. This year, it's still a supply crisis. There are not enough homes available on the market today. And if you look at this, it's actually taken care of today. there were 18,804 homes on the market that are available today in all of Southern California. In January, there were 22,838, which is 21 higher. In October of 2022, there were 30,909, and that is 64 higher than where we are today. So we peaked last year, actually in August, and still in October, there were a lot of homes at 30,909 because it kind of flatlined for the fall. That's 64 more than where we are right now today. So since October, it's gone from basically 30,000, almost 31,000, down to below 19,000. The number of homes available in all of Southern California, it doesn't look like it's really ready to grow yet. Prior to COVID, there was almost 36,000, which is 91% higher than where we are today. Almost double where we are today and where we were pre-COVID. And now let's look at the buyer side of the equation. That is the demand side, and affordability, and what's driving on affordability right now is, of course, these high interest rates. Now, the number of purchase applications, which is a very good leading indicator for where demand is going in the near future, that's purchase applications later, which are offers to purchase, which become closed sales down the road. So we're looking at what is the pending sales activity, what is it going to look like based upon the most recent purchase applications. Now, for the last several weeks, since it topped out at 7%, and then started to come down for the last several weeks, we've had increases in the purchase applications. Part of that, it's typically for spring, but it's all down 35% year over year, which is way down compared to where we were last year. But that number is starting to squeeze tighter and tighter, and by the time we get to June, we'll probably be pretty close to negligible. Down 0% year over year. So there really won't be much change. And now, as far as demand, this is the most recent escrow activities, the last 30 days worth of escrow activities. Today there were 11,251. You could see how this is diminished demand compared to prior years. This is the number of new pending sales over the last 30 days. So it really gives you kind of how many people are transacting. Pre-COVID, we were at 17,292, which is 54 higher than where Southern California is right now. But what's happening is there is a really low supply, which is now trumping affordability now over the summer and also during the fall. Affordability was trumping where supply was. But since October, we actually seen the inventory has come down, and it's continued to come down all the way through today. Now, typically, by the time we get to the end of January, inventory starts to rise. But since January, it has continued to fall. So low supply is trumping the affordability issue that is out there right now. So today, as far as the expect to market time, one that gives you the kind of speed, the market speed of the market based upon where supply is and where demand is, has definitely been dropping. Today it's at 51 days. It actually dropped a couple of days from 2 weeks ago. The 3-year average is 63 days, and what this means is if you place your home on the market, when are you going to open up escrow? When this number gets lower and lower and lower, that's for the entire area of Southern California. It means the market is getting hotter and hotter. Now, the black arrows that I'm pointing to on the right-hand side, that was where we were at the end of October 2022. And this is from October all the way through about the start of December. It was above 100 days expected market time. And that's where we really saw prices come down in Southern California. Now on the left-hand side, I'm showing you at the beginning of January 2023 this year, for Southern California, you could see that Southern California started with an over 100-day expected market time, but has dropped dramatically, almost half since January, and that's where it is right now today. No, it's not as fast as where we were in 21 or 22, but those were absolutely unhealthy, insane markets where values were going up, but at unsustainable rate. Now you could see in 2020, the expected market time at this time actually started to really increase. That's the green line, and that is because we went into COVID at this time. So right now it's lining up with the sellers column in the sellers market. It's definitely favors sellers right now, and that is because of how low the expected market time has gotten. At 100 days, that takes a while for homes to sell. But once you get down towards that 50-day threshold, that is a pretty insane level. Getting down to 50, and it continues, the inventory continues to fall as demand is continuing to rise just slightly, but it doesn't matter as a result of the market is getting hotter and hotter, and we are seeing open house lines. We're seeing buyers bumping into each other because there's not enough homes available, and we're also seeing where we're having bidding wars again. And I'm hearing all across SoCal and also in Sacramento, also in Phoenix, that we're getting so many offers. And I'm seeing it firsthand here in the Temecula area. That it's taking a bidding war in values, and the sales prices are going above asking price again, which is unhealthy. It's reminiscent of 2020, 21, and 22, where here again. So as a result of where it's at, I know that home values are starting to rise. It's not going to show in any of the numbers yet, but it definitely will be the case because of how hot the market has become with inventory. So really what I want everybody to take away from this is that there are just far fewer sellers right now. Many can't or won't sell because of what a great rate they have. This is what it's looking like. So this is low inventory, and it's versus the low demand, and then low demand is because many simply can't buy because of affordability. But the supply has come down. So far that it is outstripping this ability to afford, so it's weighing in the column of the sellers versus the buyers at this point. Prices will be flat in many markets to going up a lot in markets across the United States. And nobody really sees it yet, but you can really see it in the data when you start drilling down to new pending activity and look month to month, and where inventories are falling to right now. Also, because of this, there aren't that many homes on the market you can buy. What's not available? So there's going to be far fewer sales as well. So that will be the story that everybody will hear, that we're not doing that many sales. But you simply can't, because homes aren't coming on the market for the buyers to buy. So that's what the real estate market is currently looking like today. The bottom line is that buyers are out there looking to buy, and a nice home priced right could get multiple offers, but not like we experienced in 2021. I can confirm firsthand that a nice home priced right will be getting multiple offers. A home that is overpriced will just sit on the market or get lowball offers below the real estate market value. So thanks for watching this video, and remember, it's important who you work with.